Okay, so Space Duel. First test you run is halt, right? Run halt. Oh no! Oh no! It went off to La La Land. We can reset it, and it comes back. But if we run halt, not happy. So let's do a trace. We load the halt only. So here's the program. It just halts 3 times for good luck. Um, so let's do some tracing on that. We're going to grab all of these signals. OP, the 3 opcode bits, the 4 feedback bits. Oh, is that what F stands for? Feedback? I never knew that. And then the STs are the outputs of the prom, and go A is what we've named this unnamed signal coming out of N5 that is another input to the prom. So trace acquire, start.
N4, pin 1.
N4, pin 1. Yeah.
N4, pin 2. N4, pin 3.
So I'm on. Oh shoot! I gotta use my data probe. See, doing this wrong already. Right? I need to switch this. We use the start probe for pulse width hooked up to halt, but we're using the data probe, right?
For what?
Well,
You still should have it hooked up to start, right?
yeah, I have the start
That's
hooked
fine.
up to halt, but to
Yeah,
gather this trace, I need to. Or you're saying this doesn't matter?
well, that's just what the pulse width measurements are. It only depends on that, nothing else.
Oh, the trace
So
always uses data.
yeah,
Oh, all right. Then I'll. Okay,
you can leave that.
that's good
Yeah.
to know. All right, I will start again now. But look, I can say I already got OP2 and 1, so I'm going to change this to resume my test at OP0. That's a little advanced tip there, right? Okay, pin 3 of the prom.
N4, pin 4.
Seems to be taking a while.
N4, pin 5.
Oh, that one was quick.
N4, pin 6. N4, pin 7.
So it's gotten 1 right so far. N4, pin 7.
N4, pin 9. N4, pin 10. N4, pin 11. N4, pin 12. N4, pin 15. Test complete.
Okay. And so you can see I put them in order. Signals to trace, I put those in a particular order so that it made it easier to gather. So it was, you saw as I went through the test, it was sequential. Even though they're out of order in this list, it made gathering them a little easier. And then we can run the trace. So this is what it should look like, and that's what it does look like. So what we, and remember, the first 2 are not really valid, right? Because they're whatever was coming into the prom before, and it takes 2 cycles to get the next instruction. So you can see we are we are off the tracks right at the beginning. And we looked at this, and so compare is turned on. So the red is, it should, like this should be high, and it's not. The red line is showing you where you are and that you're wrong. So if low is wrong, that means that should have been high. And that makes sense because the F lines should follow the ST lines. Like one frame later, this was low, goes high. So one column later, F3 should follow ST. F3 should be low and then go high. And it doesn't. And we could look at this, but that's again, that's in the fourth column. We got to look at the third column, because if the third column is wrong, everything past it is going to be wrong. So what else is wrong in this third column? Column number, it says 2 at the top. Where's some more red? Right here. And that is ST0 should be low. Whoops, sorry. So what am I doing here? ST. Does this make sense to you guys?
Makes sense to me, I think.
Okay.
I understand it because I did it with you, so.
Feel free to. So what I'm like looking
I
at
see what it's doing. Yeah,
ST
it's not doing anything.
ST0. It's saying it should have gone low, and F0. Like I always think F0 should follow it.
Yeah, but so technically though that state. So yeah, that's a little weird. But remember that state is an output of the prom, and the F is an input, and so that's when you see both of those that are high there, wrong, right? Then you want to see. So what I think you want to look for is the first place that it's wrong, and then you want to ask the question: is it an input or is it an output?
Mm-hmm.
So like, in other words, we're not going to conclude because that state 0 is wrong in that first section of wrongness. We're not going to conclude that means the prom is bad, because that's an output, and that output depends on the inputs to the prom.
Mm-hmm.
And look at where those Fs are. The Fs are bad, right? And the Fs are wrong. And so we don't expect the output of the prom to be correct if the input of the prom is wrong. Does that make sense?
Yeah, right. Sure.
So that's when we're interpreting this. We need. It's a little tricky. It takes a little bit of brain. But you're exactly right. We want to make sure that we always look at the first place where it's wrong, and that's where we're going to focus all of our thinking. And then you want to think, okay, what is it? Like, what is, so that F thing being wrong, that's an output. That's an output of that latch.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And so what is that output? Well, that output on that latch depends on what its input was, what state was one time before.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's wrong. So that's bad.
That's bad.
Okay.
That's bad.
That's bad because that we clearly see that we had input that latch telling us we want a high, and then we have a clock signal that's clocking it, and it's not going high.
What did you say, Les?
No, I was just. So, where are the inputs to that latch? What are the signals that are
input?
Those are the state signals.
Right. The ST outputs from the prom.
ST0, ST1, ST2. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
They feed into the latch, and then the latch.
Yeah.
Feeds them back in. So, Fred, you're saying not that this is the first wrong thing from top to bottom. It's one of the first wrong things in column 2, reading left to right.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It has to be left to right. We care about the first things that are wrong, left to right, because after that, everything else is going to be wrong no matter what.
Okay.
Who knows?
So this is wrong. F3 is one of the first things that's wrong, But then ST0 is one of the things that's wrong.
Right. But then we think, okay, so does that mean my prom is bad? Well, but wait a second. That F is an input to the prom. And so if that input's wrong, I don't expect that output to be right.
Yep, because it's looping back into the ROM. Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Okay, and then here's another one. F0 is, well, that's low.
That's right. So that's also wrong because I would expect that to follow state 0, and it does not. So we know that we now have determined that LS174 latch, its inputs are correct. Now it's a little tricky because it's a latch, right? So we're looking at the clock cycle before clock, because this clock that's clocking the latch is the clock we're clocking on.
Yeah.
Right. So in the third column, that F3 should be high.
The third column, F3, should be high. Right. So could you say that this is enough right here? ST3 goes from low to high, and F3 does not. So therefore, boom.
Yeah.
You're right away, I know that at least that bit of that latch is wrong.
So you would say R4 is wrong.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me replace R4 real quick.
Okay. Is it socketed?
Yes, it is, because they've already fixed this board.
Okay.
Okay. I just replaced R.
We're going through a simulation of exactly what happened on this tester broken board.
I just replaced R4, so I'm going to go back to my standard test and run HALT. You fixed it! The HALT test is now, it's close to 2, it's going to vary a little bit. But HALT test works. Beautiful. Next thing I would run is center. Oh no! Center doesn't work. So what?
I'm adding the sound effects for the recording. Sorry.
What would we do here? I think what we'll do is save this for the next episode. So thanks everybody, and see you then.